Chad is just arrived on the hill.
Yeah. Dave? Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's nothing official that besides this. Sorry, excuse us.
So did you get locked out? Go in that door all the way back to his office.
Not supposed to take any photos on the first floor.
Camera's down.
There was a sofa that they pushed up close. There are two windows here that are open. The window that will be behind them, the wooden blinds.
Again, guys, gals, no photos on the third floor whatsoever. Selfies included. No video, no photos on the third floor. Selfies included. Can't do it.
So you're going to go into 19.
And you're on it. Just FYI.
Exactly, and so the position that we're doing would be.
Whatever position he wants for the center.
You're the first one in, so we have the others. So I'm first one. No, there's two ways. One is this way.
I just called her out.
Make a left, all the way back to his offices.
Guys, hug the wall, please.
Did somebody see that? Yeah. Oh. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, shh, guys, keep your voices down. You're going to cover? Okay. We're going to follow me. Yep. All right, heads up. We're going.
Oh, they stopped. once the next yeah. Just trying to figure out because first grade goes in, where they mix it. So it's not that
Do you see Tatum?
I don't see Tatum. I don't see her. I hear her.
Matt, she's all the way down there. Do you want me to get her for you?
It's May. Get in here. How do they get out? Are they coming back this way? So are we following close and tail to you guys? Because I want them to come back towards us. So they have to come back our way. Okay, we'll just follow close to you guys. We'll keep a little cat.
I'm gonna be loud.
Sorry, it's, yeah.
Yes, hi.
She's calling me.
I'm the president. I'm the pastor, the DA pastor, and I'm gonna be, filming Dana.
Thank you.
This is Dana. Yeah, it will should be on the iPad, if not, I can get it as well.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for making yourselves available. My name is Sam Bregman. I'm the Bernalillo County District Attorney. The reason that I've called this news conference today is because of the significant public attention this case has generated. This news conference provides us with an opportunity for our office to address the numerous media inquiries all at once. First and foremost, it's important to emphasize that the defendant, Timothy Busfield, is presumed innocent and until and unless he is proven guilty in a court of law. I want to go over the timeline of the recent events in this case. An arrest warrant for the defendant was issued on January 9th, 2026, and approved by my office. 5 days later, the defendant voluntarily turned himself in and was booked into the Metropolitan Detention Center in Albuquerque on January 13th. The defendant is currently charged with 2 counts of criminal sexual contact of a minor, child under 13, and 1 count of child abuse. Under New Mexico law, each count of criminal sexual contact carries up to 6 years of incarceration, and child abuse carries up to 3 years. On Wednesday, the defendant made his initial appearance before a Metropolitan Court judge. At the hearing, the judge ordered the defendant be detained at this time due to our request that he remain in custody pending trial. The district attorney's office routinely files pretrial detention motions involving cases that have these types of charges. Our office has indeed filed a motion for pretrial detention, requesting that the defendant remain in custody while his case proceeds through the courts. The case has now been transferred to district court. Judge Murphy will have a hearing on January 20th at 2 p.m. to determine whether the defendant will remain in custody or be released pending trial. After that hearing, we will bring formal charges against the defendant. The defendant will be arraigned on the formal charges. The court will then set a scheduling conference where deadlines will be established, at which time a trial date will be set. As with all criminal cases referred to my office, my prosecutors will fully evaluate this matter and proceed based on the evidence and in the interest of justice. Anyone with information relating to this matter should contact law enforcement. Our priority is to protect the rights of everyone involved. That is why at this time, we will not discuss the facts of this case. We understand, trust me, I understand. I understand there is great interest regarding the facts and the specifics of this matter. But my first obligation and the obligation of my office is to ensure the integrity of this process. The rules of professional conduct are clear, that prosecutors should try cases in the courtroom and not in the media. And that is what we intend to do. Now, based on what I've just told you, if there are questions, I'm happy to answer them, but recognize, please, that I'm going to be limited because, as I said, I'm not going to discuss the specific facts of this case. The professional rules of conduct don't allow me to do that. So if there are things I can answer in a general sense, I will, but and I know they may be frustrated, but I just want you all to know one of the reasons I had this was because our office has been bombarded, and we welcome, and we're transparent. We welcome the media and the fact that you all are seeking information. And there's been so many inquiries from across this country, across this state, and across the world, quite frankly, that we wanted to make sure that we could do this as much as possible at once so that we wouldn't have individual outlets being very, very frustrated with us. So with that said, is there a particular question that I can answer? Yes?
Have you guys received any additional calls from other potential victims? If so, how many?
I'm not going to specifically address that. I will tell you that this matter is very much still under investigation.
You talked about patterns of grooming and behavior that was very inappropriate. Can you get into any of those details as far as what your investigators have uncovered?
I appreciate the question, and I think you were referring to, I didn't just speak to that, but I think you're referring to the arrest warrant and the criminal complaint. There are 3 documents currently filed in court. One of them is an arrest warrant and criminal complaint. Another one is a motion for pretrial detention. Those documents, if you want to look for answers to those particular questions, those documents I think you can see, and they contain the allegations in this matter. But I'm not just going to simply regurgitate those documents. It's not appropriate. But I will tell you that those documents do exist, and I encourage anyone who doesn't have a copy of any particular document to let us know or to go to the courts and get a copy, because you can get that. Yes, sir.
Yes, D.A. Brigman, is there concerns in a general sense that when someone is accused that they post a video saying that they'll defend the allegations and then go all the way up to 9 Mile Hill and turn themselves into the jail?
Well, I'm not going to speak to the specifics of, and I think you're referring to the defendant in this matter. I'm not going to speak to specifics of what he did or didn't do prior to turning himself in. We're going to focus on presenting our case to the court. Our immediate focus is on that pretrial detention motion, and that's what we're going to concern ourselves with at this point. Yes?
Timothy Busfield's attorney says that he conducted an independent polygraph and passed. What does that say about your investigation? Is that something that would be admissible?
I will tell you, I'm not going to speak to what the defendant's attorney is going to do or has done. I'm going to speak to what we are, the investigation that law enforcement is doing together with our office, and I'll speak to that, or our prosecutors will speak to that in a courtroom.
Can you talk at all about just your concerns about these allegations? They are very serious.
No, I will say this in general. In this office, the district attorney's office in Albuquerque takes very seriously these type of charges, just like we do all the cases. Our job is to hold people accountable, and that's what we do. And obviously, I have personally tried cases involving child abuse and sexual assaults, and we focus on that in a big way in this office. We hold everybody accountable, and they're extremely serious.
Is there any sense of a court date that has been set, or is that still being discussed?
So, again, just to kind of talk about that specifically. So the pretrial detention motion that's going to be heard is the first next thing that's going to happen. That's January 20th at 2 p.m. in front of Judge Murphy. Next, after that, we'll be bringing after that hearing, we'll be bringing formal charges. Then he'll be arraigned. Then a pretrial conference, or a scheduling conference, if you will be set, in which deadlines and dates will be established by the court, and part of that will include a trial setting. So we don't know that yet. I will tell you that overall, most of the time, these type of cases take between a year and 18 months to complete, and I don't see why this shouldn't reflect the same kind of time frame. But again, I don't speak for judges and their dockets. They get to speak for themselves on that.
On January 20th, is there a chance that he will be released?
That's completely up to the judge. That is absolutely right. There is a chance that he'll be released. That decision will be made by the judge. We are filing a pretrial detention motion, and our concerns are articulated in that, why we are asking the court to hold the defendant detained pending trial. It's pretty much laid out in that pretrial detention motion, and I would direct you to see what the reasons are for that, to that document, to see what the reasons are.
So will you fight that he be detained?
Excuse me?
Will you suggest that he should be detained?
Oh, we already, the prosecution, the state of New Mexico has already filed that motion to detain him. Yes.
Can you talk about any of the previous history for Mr. Busfield?
No, but I won't do that right now. I will tell you that some of that is outlined in the documents that have been filed in court. Yes.
Can you tell us about your department that handles this type of case, highlighting how many people that go after predators and then people that group children?
I'll just tell you in general about my office. We have close to, I think, 120 prosecutors in this office. We have some of the most amazing, fantastic prosecutors who have done it many years, including child abuse and child sexual assaults. I'm very proud of them. They do hard work, and they bring justice for the people of this county. And they do great work. And I have been able to try cases with them as co-chairs in the courtroom, and I'm constantly impressed by their professionalism and their abilities in a courtroom. Yes?
You guys are requesting that he stays locked up during these court proceedings. Usually that's out of safety concerns for himself or other people. What is it about Timothy Busfield that makes you concerned if he is released?
Just to be clear, we file motions routinely on cases like this that have the same type of charges. This is something we do, and it's not specific to this case. This is it may be in some respects, but overall, this is what we do. We ask for pretrial detention motions in cases like this, and certainly that is what we're doing in this case. Pretrial detention motions in general are filed because the DA's office believes that for the safety of the community's sake, it is important that they remain in custody because of the danger to the community, and no reasonable conditions can be set to guarantee that safety for the community. That's why we have filed our pretrial detention motions in cases across the board, and we file a lot of them. I think over last year we had over 800 defendants detained pretrial. In New Mexico, some time ago, we changed our bail system. We no longer really have the normal bail system. It's either you're in or you're out. And if you're out, it means the judge has determined that they can be conditions of release that can be fashioned, that will secure the safety of the community. If you're not out, then there's not, at least in the judge's opinion, there's not things that can be put in place to preserve the safety of the community.
And DA Bregman, Timothy Busfield is defending himself, going on camera saying that these are all lies. How confident are you that this case is solid?
Well, listen, this, I'll just talk in general, and I think you'll hear my answer on that. I don't specifically, this office, we have a very clear, high standard of professionalism. We don't bring cases forward. We don't agree to prosecute any case unless we believe beyond a reasonable doubt that we can convict them.
No doubt?
Beyond a reasonable doubt is what I said.
Do you have any doubts?
So I'm not going to get into that kind of an answer. We are going to argue and provide evidence to a jury of his peers in the future, and we'll wait till then to comment. Okay. Yes?
Mr. Bregman, is there any statement that you would like to say to any victims or potential victims that may come forward?
No, listen, in general, not specifically even to this case whatsoever, of course we want victims and survivors to always contact this office. We have a very large victims advocate unit here in this office. We're very proud of the work we do with all types of victims. But I would encourage, as I said earlier, anyone with information about this should please contact law enforcement, please. All right then. Thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Recording stopped.
Perfect, thank you. I appreciate it for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, accompanied by Vincent Viola, owner of the Florida Panthers, and Matthew Tkachuk.
What a team, what a great job. What a great job. Please sit down. I've spent a little time doing this because I watched some of those games and these guys know how to win, just like we knew how to win last week. We had a little victory. It was surgical, just like their victory, right, Duffy? It's an honor to welcome to the White House the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. Unbelievable team, unbelievable athletes, players. These men are responsible for the greatest feats in Panthers franchise history, and beyond that. You compare them to some of the greatest hockey teams ever, including the first ever President's Trophy, 3 straight final appearances, and the one that you didn't make. What the hell happened to you? You should have won that game. But it was good to do the little comeback, right? Comebacks are wonderful, actually. But the 3... pretty good, right, Gary? And an incredible 2 straight Stanley Cup victories. And I just want to congratulate the unbelievable players. They have something different. Because I watched some of the games that it looked like it was going to be tough, and you pulled them out. You pulled them out for years. Well, Vinny's a winner, so you learn from the owner, I guess. And it's an honor to have Vinny with us. Thank you very much. He's going to speak in a couple of minutes. I always like to hear him speak because you never know what the hell's going to come out of his mouth. Where is he? You never know with Vinny, but boy, you've done a job here, huh? You and your people. Your reps have been amazing. So we're grateful to be joined this afternoon by team owner Vinny Viola. And as you know, our general manager, Bill Zito, is fantastic, one of the greatest NHL head coaches of all time. Coach Paul Maurice. Where's Paul? Where's Paul? Boy, I'll tell you, I hope they're taking good care of you. Good care. That's a hell of a coach. Great coach. We're also pleased to be joined by NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman. Great job. I remember a long time ago when you got that job, and I said they picked the right guy. You know that. And you've really shown it, as well as Attorney General Pam Bondi, wherever Pam is. Pam. Hi, Pam. She's doing great. She's a special person. And Secretaries Doug Burgum, Sean Duffy, and Chris Wright, who I hear has a birthday today. Is your birthday? What are you, about 32? You look so young. And you're doing great. You know, Doug Burgum said he's the greatest oil man in the world. I wanted Doug for the job. He said, no, there's one man better. He would only say one man. That's not, because he's a very unusual guy. But he said, Chris Wright. And we are now drilling more oil than any time, any country ever in history, right? And oil prices in many states are down to $1.99 a gallon. That's like a major tax cut, right, Catherine? That's like a major tax cut. So what we did is we gave Doug which he probably liked better because he likes real estate. He's the biggest real estate person in history. He has the Department of the Interior. So he drills and he owns the land. And the combination's been lethal, right? And they've been great, and I appreciate it, too. We're also here with FBI Director Kash Patel, who's a person that loves sports, right? Kash, you love the sports, and we love you. And Representatives Randy Fine. Randy, you did a great job the other day. You did a great job the other day. You know what I'm talking about. You got up there. Let them have it. Jimmy Petronas. Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy. Good job. John Rutherford. John, thank you. Thank you, John. And Michael Haradopoulos. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. So after a shortened off-season and a regular season plagued by injuries, the Florida Panthers entered the 2025 playoffs with extraordinary pressure to defend the title, but they also had an amazing aura about them. It was called the aura of winning. There's something nice about it. And that's what they did. But not only did you live up to the sky-high expectations, you gave us perhaps the most dominant playoff run in NHL history. The Panthers scored 94 goals in the playoffs, more than any team in a generation. You won a record 10 times on the road. It was, nobody's ever done that one before. You led the finals for over 255 minutes, the most of any team in NHL history. And you denied Canada the Stanley Cup for the 32nd straight year by... I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Matthew? We have a little competition with Canada. No, they're great people, though. They're great people. We're doing much better than Canada, but that's okay, right? We want them to do well, and they're going to do well. But 32nd straight year by defeating the Edmonton Oilers for the second year in a row, and they have a couple of really great players in that team, and they have a superstar, still a superstar, right? How's he feeling about this game? You can't lose, you got to win, right? You're going to explain it? Huh? But boy, I'll tell you, that was some game. On offense, no one was better than the man the Edmonton Journal named public enemy #1 star forward, Sam Bennett. Where's Sam Bennett? He's got a very powerful hand. He's a strong guy. Sam scored 15 playoff goals and earned the coveted Conn Smythe Trophy, making him the first skater in Panthers history to be named tournament MVP. That's fantastic on Sam. And perhaps the greatest single game performance goes to Sam Reinhart. Where's Sam? Who became the first player in 103 years to score 4 goals at a Stanley Cup clinching win, and that's 4 goals. So they say hat trick, but what do they call 4 goals? They don't do it because nobody ever does it, right? How many people? I've never heard of 4 goals in one game. I hear of a hat trick, but so did they have a nickname for that one? I don't know. Just you know what it's called? 4 goals. That's all you don't need a nickname. On the defensive side, legendary goalie, he's great. Sergei Bobrovsky, also known as Bob. Well, that's a that's a good concept. That was a good idea. Notched 3 shutouts in each of the first 3 series, including a key game, #4. Shutout against Toronto in the second round. Played phenomenal hockey. Longtime Panther blue liner Aaron Ekblad led his fellow defenseman with a career-high 13-point scores, 19 playoff games, and that's close to another record. And team captain Alexander Barkov, known as Barky, was named the best defensive forward in the league for the 3rd time in the 2nd straight year. Much credit. Where's Barky? Where are those 2 guys? Good-looking people, young, beautiful people. I hate them. You hate standing here with all this power behind you. But I got power, too. It's called the United States military. I don't care. At 37 years old, Brad Marchand recorded 10 assists and 10 goals in the playoffs, including the clutch double overtime winner in Game 2 of the finals. And no skater had more ice time in the playoffs than Seth Jones, who was the workhorse on both sides of the puck. As we know, Seth will be representing America in the Milan Winter Olympics next month, alongside fellow Florida Panther Matthew Tkachuk, who's fantastic. I remember his father was very good. I don't know. I said, did you top his father? He said, well, my father had 500 and some odd goals. How many did you say? How many? A lot of goals. I said, well, he says he ain't, but you will be. and your father would want you to be, because I know your father. He would want you to be. It's fantastic. You don't see that too often. We have a father who's great and a son who's great. You don't see it very often, but this is a case where you do. And say hello to your father for me, Matthew, okay? But he throws a big punch. I can see that. Is he a pretty tough cookie? Is he tough? They say he throws the big punch. How many people can take him in a fight? There are only a couple of heads. He says most of them. I don't know about that. Also joining them on Team USA staff will be Bill Zito and Panthers equipment manager Teddy Richards. That's great. That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations. And we're counting on you to bring home the gold. You know, I got the Olympics, and we got it brought to a very special place. We have the big Olympics coming up very soon, and we have the World Cup coming, and we have the 250th year coming. So, you know, when I got rigged, when you had a rigged election, I was really angry about it. Then I realized if I win the next time, I pick up the Olympics, the World Cup, and the 250. And I said, you know what, Pam? I said, this is a good thing. It's better than it would have been, actually. So it's pretty good. Amazing the way things can work out, right? But I just wanted to say a very special congratulations. And I'm going to bring them down to the Oval Office we did last time. And sometimes if I really like a team, I bring them to the Oval Office and we do some fun. We give them a little special, we give them a coin, a very special coin, the best coin there is. And we have a little fun, but we're gonna march on down. We're gonna pass the Presidential Wall of Fame. So I had a choice, Walk of Fame or Wall of Fame. And you know what I decided, right? I said walk, because I think of the Walk of Shame. And I said, this was an interesting situation. So I said, that was the one reason I didn't want to do that, because I said, people are going to think about that, but I said, I'll do it anyway. But we have the Presidential Walk of Fame, and you'll get to see it. It's been quite an attraction for the White House. But I just want to congratulate everybody. These are special people, very, very hard to win, especially at the top level of sports, and this is the top level, and it's an honor to have these guys with us. You know, it's I want my people to win. We have such incredible people, so many here, congressmen, senators, and cabinet members, and they've really produced. They're producing like we're having a year, the likes of which really so far there's no comparison to any other first year for an administration. We have the tremendous crime numbers just came out. Did you see? The lowest crime ever recorded. Now, you wouldn't see that when you see what's going on, but when you see what's going on in Minnesota, we're taking out some of the worst criminals in the world are being taken out of our country. Murderers, drug dealers, some of the worst in the world. We have the lowest crime with best crime numbers we've ever had. And we have something else that's very special. We have 18 trillion, this is Vinny, Vinny had understand this better than maybe anybody in the room, $18 trillion worth of investment in the United States, which is bigger than any number. And we have, again, we have today for the 49th time in 11 months, here a little more than 11 months, for the 48th day, we have the highest stock market in history. So that's pretty good. That makes you feel good because I know you have a couple of stocks. It makes everybody feel good because 401ks are the highest point they've ever been. Everybody's happy, and we're doing a job, and they're doing a job. So I'd like to ask Vinny to say a few words, and then Matthew to say a few words, and then we'll figure it out. I heard they have a little surprise. Ooh, that looks nice. I hope it's the stick and not just the shirt. That stick looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. Maybe I get both. Who the hell knows? I'm president. I'll just take them. But then we do have that little surprise, and I want to thank you all very much for being here. Very special. Vinny, please, go ahead.
Mr. President, it really humbles me to be in your presence, and the kindness you've showed me, my organization, from a very long time ago, it's not lost on us. But the privilege to be at the White House with you while you're present is extra special. I'm going to make it pretty clear that we are honored to be here, and we're honored to be here with you as the president. You talked about the Olympians. I think we're right up there having the most Olympic players as much as any other team in the NHL. There are 10 Olympians behind me from, I think, 4 or 5 countries. It's a great testimony to a wonderful sport that really is a global sport. I speak on behalf of every Florida Panther fan all over the world. We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. Thank you, Mr. President. Matthew would like to say a few words, and the players are super excited about the gifts that they've selected for you. I think I'm more excited, actually. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
Well, I mean, the 2 cups was pretty good, but that walk with you might have trumped it all there. That was pretty amazing. No, I just want to say on behalf of the whole organization and mainly the players, we are so honored to be here. Being an American, I know I said it last year, but I mean, nothing beats this. I'm so proud to be an American and so proud to be here with you and everybody else. So, but like I said last year, winning, it takes a toll. You pay a price for it, and each one of these members behind me, like, it really does take a village to make it happen, and each person played a very, very important part in it. And coming down to Florida, thanks to Vinny Viola and Bill Zito, has really changed my life, and I cannot believe that 3 years later we have 2 Stanley Cups, and like Vinny said, we are not stopping now, and we hope to be here next year. So that's the plan, and you know, representing you and the millions back here next month in the Olympics will be one of the highlights of my life as well, so thank you. We do have a few gifts to give you, so I'd like to call down Captain Sasha Barkov and then Seth Jones, and I think you're gonna like the one that Seth gets you the most.
Good for slashing.
hear you, rather. I can hear you just fine, yeah. Yeah, we're on channel 2. It's channel 2. So what is that tear gas or pepper balls?
That's a pepper ball, I think. It could be a mixture of both. Yeah, so both.
Pepper, right? It's pepper.
Depends what it was. Either paintball guns and pepper.
Okay, so Orly, I'm gonna try. I don't want to get on the road because they're pissed off about that clearly. So,
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone. Just blow your nose. Then you're good. Don't try to snuck it or take it in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's a bunch of vets who they know. It's like, yeah, what? Yeah, it's very interesting. And a lot of units do it every 6 months or more. I worked PAO for the Army for about my last 2 years. You know what? It brings back memories. Yeah. I'm getting ready to go, but when I saw him coming out, he's like, I might as well stay for the excitement. Yeah, I'm on the other side. So yeah.
Hi, Jake. Thanks for having us. Well, we just got pepper balled, but we're okay.
Yeah, the old people, I think it's like, it's got to be an old vet who knows better. He's like, fuck them. Give them no traction. Turn the whole walking grounds into a fucking lake. And it's mostly, like, there's Border Patrol there. That's mostly Border Patrol. Yeah. The guys are... All the yellow is Border Patrol. Yeah, but what green's actually the DOT. So, but here's the thing is...
100%.
The SRT, like, they flashbang a little fucking, six little kids. Yeah, those are Bureau of Prisons, you're right, yeah.
Well, the reason they shot something out at this crowd is because they were just pushing the crowd, and I explained this, they were just pushing the crowd out of the street to clear the street to make the way for the cars, and somebody from the crowd threw a bottle of water or something into them, so.
What fucking stupidity was that? I know, yeah, that's nice for those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Even some of those Border Patrol guys, like they're 17 years old, and they're just little guys. Well, I saw, it's funny. Last week I saw in their eyes they were looking to rush, and I was like, hey man, chill the fuck out. There's some
Okay.
high